What is up, guys? Today we're going to go through my pack dump. So let's start off with the clothes. So first things first, I got my crispy Laponia 2s. These are new boots to me. I think they look absolutely amazing. I've definitely been putting some miles on these things. They feel great. It's one of my favorite boots I've worn so far. So I'm excited to finally take these up in the mountains. I've got them oiled up and ready to go. So there's the boots for the season. Followed up, I guess we're going to work our way up the body. I've got the Peaks Stormcastle gaiters. So these are waterproof gaiters. They have that leather strap on the bottom. I ran these all throughout turkey season, and it would have kept my feet dry if I wasn't wearing boots that had holes in them. So this thing, the only dry part of my body during turkey season was the part that this gaiter covered, or these gaiters covered. So these things are awesome. I fully recommend them. Put probably close to 45 miles on them this spring, and they're still tough and they look like brand new basically. So I'm super excited about these gaiters. Last time we did not have any, and it was a huge problem. If you haven't watched those videos, I'll put them down in the description below, but it was a big problem. I've got 2 pairs of merino wool socks. These are the First Light Mercury Light socks. I really like these socks. I just bought 2 of them. You can do darn tough. I've heard those are really good. That's what my buddy Luke has, but I just ran those. Then I've got my pants. These are the Wrangler stretch fit pants. Buy them at Walmart for like 26 bucks. They're amazing, super durable. Ran them all last year and all my hunting seasons. They are phenomenal pants. Highly recommend them. You can buy like 5 of these for the price of just a regular like Timberline pant or something. So these are they're just awesome. They're super durable, dry quick. I'll keep using those. If you're familiar with the turkey hunting stuff, you will have recognized this shirt. This is the Bottomland Flyweight, I believe, shirt. Has the mesh back on it, and it's just a button up, dries super quick. So if you're sweating and stuff, airs out really nicely. I really like this shirt. I'm going to go ahead and take this. This is what I wore last time. Something that I didn't take last time was my rain gear. So I've got the Mossy Oak rain pants. I wear these for turkey hunting. I didn't buy anything new or fancy for this hunt as far as rain gear goes. I just didn't want to. I already had this stuff, so I'm just throwing it in there. It's relatively light. It could be lighter, but this stuff has worked really well for turkey season, so I'm going to go ahead and take it. Got the rain jacket with it as well. I would unfold it, but it's just a basic rain jacket with Mossy Oak pattern. This is my Sawtooth jacket. This is First Light's merino wool and a Spectre camo. I like that jacket. I bought this because instead of a puffy, due to the fact that I can run this and as my whitetail mid layer in the First Light system. So I was kind of trying to buy something that would be a good all-around pick for even my whitetail setups. And then what I do to increase the warmth is I'll throw on my waterproof jacket, my rain jacket, throw that on, and then I've got a windproof and insulating layer, and I don't have to take a puffy, but a puffy would probably be better for these western hunts. So that was my clothes. So now we're going to move on to my camp. Alright, so I got my camp in front of me right now. We're going to start with the sleep system, and then we're going to move on to the actual shelter. So first things first, let's start with the quilt. This is a hang tight shop. Luke turned me on to these. If you watched the previous video, Luke has a 20-degree quilt. This hang tight shop is a 0-degree. It has the bungees for my sleeping pad, and it has a button up here to button it together so it doesn't come out flapping and all that stuff. What I'll say about this hang tight shop, 0 degree, is I wish I would have got a 20 degree because this thing is hot. I got it down to 23 degrees and I had to strip down to my underwear because I was sweating in it so much. So this thing is truly a 0 degree bag. This thing is warm and it's super lightweight at like 25 ounces. So I absolutely love that quilt. Next up, we've got a Walmart travel pillow. You can go and get blow-up pillows. You can go and buy some Sea to Summit sacks and stuff all your clothes in it. I am just out there to sleep. Like, sleep's such a big deal to me, and I've really struggled with sleeping well out in the backcountry. So I just went ahead and bought an actual pillow. And this thing stuffs enough, and I like it. So I keep that. It's like 10 bucks at Walmart. The next thing I've got is this Tyvek ground sheet. This thing has been washed. It's not that loud, but it's fit to the perfect dimensions of my shelter and my sleeping pad. It just fits. It's perfect. It works well for me. Waterproof. They're really cheap, so I really like this. Next up, I've got my Thermarest Neo Air X Lite, 4.4 R value, I believe, on this bad boy. You can get a more comfy one. I think with Sea to Summit they make some thicker ones. I think this is 2.5 inches thick, and go all that route. But this one fits me perfectly. Has a great R value, which is important with the quilts, and I don't really have a problem with this bad boy. I really like it. It's real light, and it's the wide version, so it's 25 inches wide. So that really helps with being able to keep my elbows on the pad itself. Moving on to the camp, I've got the Cimarron, the Seek Outside Cimarron with the Seek Outside Cimarron pole. I made the mistake of not buying the pole. I bought a trekking pole coupler. Just buy the pole. This thing is so much better than the trekking pole coupler. It's amazing. And this thing is super fast to set up. It is, as you can see, quite large, but you can pack it down into certain compartments of your pack. But this thing, I mean, it's huge footprint, which is the only downside to it. But once you're in it, it's a freaking castle, and it's amazing. So I can put like 2 people plus all of our gear, and a stove. Like 2 people, all our gear, and a stove. I mean, like, it's super amazing. So I love this, and I'm excited to try it out in the backcountry. Alright, so right here I have my food my stove and my water system. I'm just going to quickly run you through that because we finished up with the camp. So this is the Jetboil Flash with the Sea to Summit spork. I love this Jetboil Flash, though it might be the last year I use it, just simply because I think I'm going to go down to the BRS with a titanium Tokes pot, and it'll be with 8 ounces of fuel and that system the same weight as this Flash. However, I do love that the Flash is like one whole system. It has the neoprene on it. You can just pick it up and have your coffee in the morning. It's a pretty slick system. I'll definitely keep it, but it's going to be probably more for my truck camping setup because it is rather large, but I really like this system. Here's a 250 Coleman butane canister. I'll take one of these out with me. I'm really not messing around with this. I probably won't use all of it, but with all the boils with water and coffee and the few boils I'll have, I just say screw it, and I'm gonna take a big one and not have to worry about it. Now, for my water system, it's the same thing as last year for the most part. The only thing I changed is I got rid of my platypus bladder. I liked it for easy water consumption, but I hated it for at night when all your water was stored up in that bladder and having to siphon it out for food and making your peaks meals and all that sort of stuff. So I really didn't like that. So I decided to switch over to 2 1.5 liter smart water bottles, which I find is just a lot better system. That's what Luke had, and a lot of times he was really helping me out at night because he would just pour some of his water out of his thing so I didn't have to siphon it out of my platypus, which was really helpful. So simply put, we've got 2 of the C-Knock 2 liter bags for dirty water. These screw directly onto my Sawyer squeeze. In that squeeze has a coupler. That coupler screws right on, and then my smart water bottle screws right on. So basically I can screw all of this together to a smart water bottle and hang it in gravity feed, or quickly push it out, but I know that I'm not having to like aim with the hole and all of that sort of stuff. This is just going to be like perfect. It couples right on. So I like that system. This will allow me to have 7 liters of water if I need to take it up, because we're going up high and gaining elevation, and we're not going to have water for a little while. So this is plenty of water for what I'm doing. So super excited about that. And then I got a travel toothpaste, just one of the ones where the cylinder goes over it and you make a travel toothpaste. I got that at a convenience store when I was in Montana. And then I just bought an extra or a new mini toothpaste. So that is my water system, my toothbrush, because I brush my teeth when I'm messing around with my water a lot of times, and then I got my food system. So now we're gonna move on to like the kill kit and first aid. Okay, so now I'm gonna work you through my first aid and my kill kit. So let's go with my first aid first. In here I have 2 gauze strips. I have a whole 8 days worth of Advil and Tylenol PM, and I have a roll of cushion tape. So, or they call it like moleskin, stuff like that. So this right here, this will be able to pack wounds to, if I'm feeling not so well, I have some medication I can take, and the cushion tape is something I can put around my feet if I start to get blisters. The big thing is this tourniquet right here. I have a Cat Gen, I've forgotten what type of, I want to say Gen 5 tourniquet. This tourniquet is like medically used, approved. If Luke was here, he'd be able to tell me exactly all the stats to this thing, because he was more into that wilderness survival stuff. But he recommended it, and we've kind of put it to the test, know how to use it. It's very, very handy, and if anything really bad goes wrong, we've got something to stop the bleeding. Another thing that we've done, and I forgot to kind of add this in, is I have this fire starter. This is in a Axe can, an Axe hair gel can. I have 2 lighters, and in this Axe hair gel can, I have cotton balls with antibiotic ointment. So I can take that antibiotic ointment and apply it to a wound and wrap it with the cushion tape, or gauze it and then wrap it with the cushion tape. So I have multiple ways of handling just small injuries and blisters and stuff like that, with the saving grace really being that tourniquet if something really goes wrong. Another thing that's really important, that's not really on my first aid, but it's like if things go really bad, is the Zoleo communicator, which I have no clue where that's at right now. But it's my satellite communicator. It has an SOS button. I can hit that button and people come looking. So that's a handy tool. I would totally recommend those. So that's kind of like my first aid / emergency stuff. So let's jump into the kill kit. So the kill kit, I have the Benchmade Steep Country I think S90V is what this blade and the steel is made out of. Very light knife. It's a fixed blade. It's relatively easy to sharpen. I like this just because it's light, and I like having a fixed blade knife when I'm really working in on some of those critters. That's coming back from my butchering days at a meat processor. It's just kind of something in the knife I like, and I just kind of like the feel of this steep country, so I like using that. I've got the Work Sharp field sharpener. Nothing is almost more important than keeping a blade sharp when you're working on an animal. Again, drawing from my days as a butcher, this sharpening device has to be top notch because that really slows down how fast you can cut up game. Also, with this S90V, it holds a sharp edge longer, so I'm able to kind of work through the animal and then only have to sharpen it once or twice through it. So that's really cool. All right, for game bags, I've got the Born and Raised Outdoors game bags to put my elk in, put the quarters in, and then in order to hang the elk meat, I've got 50 foot of paracord all in a ball. I'm not really organized with it, but I just take a bunch. So there's that. And then if it runs into the nighttime when we're cutting and cleaning, I've got the Cosmo 350 from Black Diamond. This is a great headlamp. It locks, it does all the things that I need it to do, and it's relatively inexpensive. So I've got the Black Diamond Cosmo, and it works really well. So now we're going to go through just kind of the remnant and all the miscellaneous stuff that's in my pack that I've found works really well. So I'm going to take you through that right now. Okay, so this is kind of like the miscellaneous stuff that I keep in my pack. All serves a purpose, however. So let's first walk you through, I lied, I don't always keep it in my pack. Here is my bino rig. I got Diamondback 10x50s from Vortex. In it, I have, and I generally keep this Allen key in one side. I've got some lens wipes in here and my wind checker, as well as my Vortex 1000 rangefinder. So that's what I keep on my chest. I always keep an extra wind checker, knowing the wind is vitally important, so I always throw another one of those in my pack in case I need one. I've got a whistle. The whistle is for safety purposes. If I need someone to hear me or see me, or I'm hurt and I can whistle, it's kind of out of the ordinary. Hopefully Luke can hear something like this in the woods with the birds and stuff going on, but just anyone who is out there with me, if I'm in trouble, I can blow this whistle. I've got chapstick. Chapstick is super important out there in that dry air. Your lips just chap with the wind and all that sort of stuff, so having chapstick is really important. This right here is a little creature comfort. This is the Thermarest Neo Air Micro Air Pump. I really like this air pump. It inflates my sleeping pad and deflates it. And the best setting on this is the deflate, because in the mornings when you're trying to push out all that last bit of air from your air pad and you're kind of like sitting there for like 10 minutes, this thing does it all for you. It's super nice. Plus, I don't like getting lightheaded when I'm at like 11,000 feet blowing up my air pad. So this thing is super awesome. It's super quiet as far as, you know, pumps go, and it's just a little creature comfort. Obviously, if you guys want to save the 1 ounce that this thing is, or 2 ounces this thing is, feel free, be my guest, but I'm not much of an ounce counter to have something that's kind of handy and I really like. So next up, we've got 2 releases. So I am running the Ultra View thumb button release. I've got that right here. This is what I'll be hunting with. However, I will put the Ultra View Hinge 2 in my pack as well, in case, Lord forbid, I lose that release. So the Hinge 2 is the exact same frame as the thumb button. So it feels the exact same way in my hand. It is just the difference in a hinge and in the thumb button. So I will have an extra release in case something happens to that one, it breaks or anything happens. I've got an extra release ready to go, and I can keep hunting. So that is the reason I keep two. I think it's very important, and I think it could save you from a lot of trouble in the field. Here I've got 3 AAA batteries, and I'll put a CR2 battery in here for my rangefinder. I like to have 3 AAAs for my headlamp extra in case something goes out, and then 1 for my rangefinder because that's vitally important as well. I've got the Zoleo satellite communicator. This is what I was talking about earlier. Has the SOS feature. I open this up and press SOS for 3 seconds, and helicopters are coming for me. So got that. I've got a little New Testament and Psalms and Proverbs, a little Bible to take with me. No better place to read the Bible than out in the woods. So I've got that little thing with me. I like just keeping that handy. I've got my SD card reader, or not reader, my SD card holder. This is all my SD cards that I'll be taking for the trip with my camera gear. So I've just got this little SD card holder. Obviously there's a lot of camera gear stuff that you're not gonna see, but I do have an article on my website that tells you what I will be taking. And I'll have an article about the gear list itself, and it'll tell you what I'm taking as far as camera gear. So it'll tell you in the camera gear article, and it'll tell you in the hunting article kind of what I'm taking. So then I've got this 1 liter stuff sack. This is for all my electronics, and I have a 20 liter stuff sack in here. They're both dry bags, but the 20 liters for my food, I just keep it in here because I haven't packed my food yet and put it into my pack. So I've got the 1 liter for my electronics, 20 liters for my food. Next up, I've got the Anchor 20,000 milliamp hour battery pack. This really gets me through a trip. I can charge my phone, charge part of the Zoleo. I'll charge my camera with this. I can just do a lot of things with this specific device. And with that comes all the cords that I'll need, whether that be camera cords, microphone cords. All of that is just stuff I can charge with. And then this thing is a new add-on. This is the Big Blue solar charger, 28 watt. So simply open it up, pull it out, and I've got a solar panel that I can take with me in the backcountry. In here it has 3 banks, so I can put up to 3 things on charge at the same time. So this will help me and allow me to charge my camera, charge my battery pack, charge my phone, and this just gives me solar power options. So this just keeps me out in the backcountry just a little bit longer with this. And since I'm running camera gear and other electronics that not everyone will be running, that thing has just become such an essential piece, and I'm excited to use it for the first backcountry hunt. I've used it in the past for turkey hunt stuff, but it's going to be pretty big when it comes to this. Last but not least, I have my pack itself and my trekking poles. So this right here is the K3 6400 by Exo Mountain Gear. I used this pack frame last year, but I had the 4800, and I really would have liked more room. I got away with it just fine, even with 8 days of food, but still more room was a little bit better option. So this is the pack that I'm running this year. I've looked into some other options. I stopped by the Stone Glacier store and put their pack on, and I really like the Stone Glacier. So I'm also going to maybe look into the Initial Ascent as well. So this might not be the pack I'll run next year, but this is the pack that I've got going on this year. It worked well last year as well, so I'm excited. This thing is a great pack. It held all my gear just perfectly, and it was, you know, it was fine. I really liked the pack. Packs, bags, shelters, all of that sort of stuff is stuff that you're putting a lot of trust in. So if there is a better pack out there, I'm willing to look for it. So that's the only reason why I bring up Stone Glacier or Initial Ascent, is because I'm interested in checking out those bags and figuring out which one I would like the best. But as of right now, I'm just running the 6400 by EXO. The 6400 can get me like 14 days the way I pack. So I'm more than happy with it. This thing's huge. So I like the 6400. And then here I've got the Sissy Sticks. I believe these are the Pros. I believe. I'm not 100% sure. I know they're the step above like the Backcountry Elites. So these are made by Peaks. They have an aluminum lower and a carbon upper, I believe. They're just really good poles. I had Mountain Smith or Mountain Light last year, all carbon poles, and they were just flexy and I didn't like them. So last thing I want is something to break on me, and I've heard a lot of good things about Peaks. That's why I got their gaiters. That's why I got their trekking poles, just for something a little bit more steady. So that's everything. I believe on my list there might be something I throw in last minute. You know how that goes, is packing, but that is basically the whole thing. For more information on this, you can go to my website, thebigmuddyoutdoors.com, and you will get to see all our articles about food, gear, what we take, how we plan, all of that sort of stuff, as well as keep checking out some of the YouTube videos, because we've got some videos on a bunch of different things. So I'm super excited. We leave literally in like 23 hours, or take that back, 27 hours or so. So it's gonna be super fun. I'm super excited to get out there, and everything is just an absolute blast. And getting ready is almost just as fun. It's like you're packing for a trip. You're putting everything together. My mind's been on this for about a month now, so it's awesome that it's finally here. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like and comment, and do all that. We're really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We've got a lot of stuff that's new and exciting coming. So please subscribe. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be well worth your time. Thank y'all.